I did part one of my 40-year journey dealing with the narcissist. I said that I was going to do a part two. So here we are. If you haven't seen part one, it's posted on my page. You just got to scroll down. You'll see it. 40-year journey dealing with the narcissist. I ended part one with me being 15 years old, living on my own. I left the narcissist's house trying to get away from all the gaslighting, falsely accusing, triangulating, and everything else that was going on there. Now, at this point, just experienced the narcissist actually calling Child Protective Services on me. I was going through everything you can possibly imagine for a 15-year-old living on his own, and the narcissist was guardian over control of my finances. I just had a situation, after only being at the house for a week or two, the water got turned off. I had contacted the narcissist thinking that she would use some of my money, get the water turned back on. And of course, I ended up being at the house for a whole week with no water until I had to figure out how to get it on. After I get this water back on, my uncle comes from Oklahoma. He comes to the house and actually stays there with me for a few days. During this period of time, he actually sat me down and told me, like, listen, you're 15. You're not supposed to be trying to take care of a household and worried about bills and food and all this stuff. He said, listen, you want to come down to Oklahoma with me? I got your cousin down there, and only thing you got to do is go to school. You ain't got to worry about none of this other stuff. Now, at this point, I'm feeling so relieved because I've been through hell and back in a short period of time. So for him to tell me that he about to get me out this situation, I felt good, like a big weight was being lifted off. He ends up leaving after we had this conversation. He never comes back. I'm wondering what happened to him. What happened was the narcissist. See, because the narcissist was my guardian, my uncle had to go to her to talk to her about getting guardianship so he can take me to Oklahoma with him. Once he got done talking to the narcissist, he didn't want nothing to do with me no more. Well, why is that? Why she wouldn't want him to get me, a 15-year-old kid, no parents, living on his own, going through all kind of struggle? Why not let me go with him so I can live life as a normal teenager? If the narcissist gave up guardianship, that means she had to give up my mother's estate that was left for me. Money in numerous bank accounts left for me. Also, she would have to give up my monthly Social Security check that she was clearly living off of because I'm over here struggling, barely got food, and she's living good. Never had a job in her life at that point in time. She was not finna just give that up. That's why I never heard from him again. Once my uncle left, the narcissist continued with these massive smear campaigns. Like I explained before, all our family, all the neighbors, my friends was hearing stories that was coming from the narcissist about me. Now, for me, I couldn't understand what was going on because everybody is coming at me, blaming me for being in this bad situation that I'm in. Now, the thing that's bothering me about this is that all these people, family and neighbors, all knew my parents. The older ones knew my father before he passed away, but everybody knew my mother. And they knew my mother did very well financially. Not one of them questioned, why is it that at 15 years old, I'm over here living on my own, and why am I going through not having food? Why am I in situations where utilities being shut off? Why am I going through this? Not one of these grown people questioned this. That was one of the biggest problems I had, is that came at me, blaming me, gaslighting me like it's my fault, but nobody thought about why I was in this situation. All of them knew the narcissist was my guardian. All of them knew that my mother's entire estate came to me. All of them knew that the narcissist received a Social Security check from me every single month. But nobody ever questioned that. What I've learned since then is that whenever narcissists have these smear campaigns against you, anybody that's listening, narcissist is telling them so much about you, they can't even think outside of anything that the narcissist is actually telling them. And so this is what I was experiencing as a 15-year-old kid. Now, this goes on for almost a year. It got me to a point where I don't understand what's going on in my head. Before I even left the narcissist's house, I was already showing signs of chronic depression and PTSD. But I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on. All I wanted to be was left alone to try to figure out what's going on inside my head. At one point in time, I stayed in the house. I stayed in my room, couldn't get away from it. So what happened is it started pushing me into a psychotic state of mind. In part one, I talked about that. Before I left the narcissist's house, I was in that same state of mind because they wouldn't leave me alone. So here it is a year later, I'm right back here, but this time a whole lot worse because I've not had a break from this. It's been a constant thing. I was dealing with a whole lot, from the time my mother died. I ended up losing 2 people close to me, back to back, 3 deaths in less than a year. This narcissist for 2 years straight. So I'm in bad shape at this point. I can't think straight. I can't function. I don't know what's going on with me. On top of all of that, I had a crash course with poverty. I grew up not knowing what poverty was. I didn't know what it was to even want anything because everything I wanted, I had. I didn't know what needing something was. At this point, I don't have anything. I need everything. If it's times that I don't have food, I don't have anything else. I'm dealing with a whole lot. I start waking up in the morning saying that if anybody say anything to me today, it's going to end bad for them. And because the narcissists never stop with these smear campaigns, I found myself getting into it with family, neighbors, friends, every single day because they wouldn't stop coming at me. Spent the whole summer of 1986 involved in violence every single day. I didn't know what was wrong with me. All I knew is every time somebody come blaming me or gaslighting me, it was ending in violence. September, after another night of violence, I found myself having an intervention with myself. All the things that you've been doing. Look at how many friends that lost their lives. Look at how many people you know went to prison, gonna be there the rest of their life for doing the same thing that you're doing. This me talking to myself. That point is when I started cutting off everybody. Family, friends, neighbors, staying in the house, trying to stay away from all this drama and save my own life. Because if I had kept going like that, 2 places I was going to end up. At this point is when I finally had a moment of clarity. I could finally start thinking clearly. Stay tuned. Part 3, 40-year journey. Narcissists in my family.